What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today I thought we'd have a discussion about console wars and why they're stupid. Okay, so big news this week from Sony was that God of War from 2018 is coming to PC, and I personally am very excited about it. Never owned a PlayStation 4, so I'm excited to finally get to play it, and that's my opinion on exclusives changing platforms. More people get to play it. That's always a good thing. There's no reason why. I mean, from a developer's point of view, limiting what consoles you're allowed to release on is simply cutting your total profits. It only makes sense from a manufacturer's point of view to have console exclusives. So there's no reason why anybody should be freaking out about it. And even from Sony's perspective, they're the ones who developed it. They're the ones who published it. They're going to make money on the PC version. So clearly they decided for their business model that this is the best way forward. And it's promotion for their sequel, which is going to be exclusive as well. So anyways, in general, it's a very good thing. I see a lot of Sony fanboys freaking out like, oh no, what are we going to do? And to me, it's amusing. And I don't understand this whole, like, corporate fanboyism where it's like, this is my favorite piece of plastic from my favorite corporation, and I'm going to support everything they do. See, there's no reason why, as a consumer, you should be happy that certain games are being withheld from you. I understand if you like the way the controller's laid out, you like the way that the console works, you like the simplicity of it. There's a lot of good things about console gaming, but them porting their games over to PC, it's a good thing. It gives them more money, it gives more people access to the game, it makes more people like the game, it probably leads more people to buy the console so they can play the sequel earlier. So it's all good things, even if you're a Sony fanboy. So I don't understand why there's such a big hubbub about it. Every time that there's a Sony port of a new game, it's like the sky is falling all of a sudden. Now, to me, I would prefer if console manufacturers had to compete on feature set, on performance of the hardware, instead of content. That's just not the world we live in. I'd prefer if every game was released for every platform so that everybody had the chance to play it. Then we would get better consoles as a result of that. We would get consoles that compete on how they perform and the features that they provide. We would have that instead of consoles competing on which exclusive games the person likes better. I was never a fan of that. Never liked exclusive games. As you can see in the background, I owned a 360. Well, I still owned it. It's downstairs. And there's PS3 games in there as well. I have no loyalty to any particular thing. I like consoles in general. I like PC mostly, though. And that's what I play on now because I own a PC, so I can do editing and stuff like that. That's my day job, or one of my day jobs, I should say, is editing videos. So I need a computer, and now I do YouTube channels, so I need it for that as well. So it only makes sense that I wouldn't want to buy another console at this point. I mean, I don't have as much expendable income as maybe I used to. In high school, that's all I spent my money on was video games. Nowadays, there's a lot more. I got bills and stuff, so I got to do that first. So gaming is not the priority it used to be, right? So I don't have all the consoles. If I had the money for it, I would own all the consoles. But here's the thing, I'm not literally a PC Master Race guy either. I do think that PC games give you the biggest option. There's obviously the biggest library of games. You have the most options. You have the customizability. You have the fact that you can do things other than gaming on it. So you can do video editing, photo editing, all these things that you can use to make money, actually. So, and there's a lot of good things that you can do on a computer that you can't do on a console, because consoles are locked in. They only do gaming. They do internet browsing and Netflix and stuff too, but it's a much more limited computer, basically. They are computers at the end of the day. And here's the thing, I mean, the consoles are competing on price, which is a good thing. The benefits to a console is the price and the simplicity of it. Pretty much every other pro that you can give to a console, you can do on PC as well. You can make your PC hook up to a TV. If you got the right driver for your TV, you can get a nice experience on the television. It's not recommended for most things unless you have a driver. So don't don't just think that it's going to work right out without a driver, but you can get your computer hooked up to a TV if you wanted. You can get a controller on your PC if you want. That's how I play my games. I use my 360 controller still, you know? I didn't even buy a new one yet. So I will have to eventually because these controllers are wearing out. But in general, all the other pros, you can work on a PC as well. You know, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, you can mod your games if you want, if that's an interest you have. But again, it's really just comes down to what is most convenient for you. And most people, gaming it's just a small thing they do on the side. They don't need a big computer that can play games that perform better. They just need something that can plug into their TV, something that keeps it simple. And that's why console is probably better for most people. Although I tend to like PC better because I have more options and I can play older games and newer games and I have better performance in general. I care about frame rates. Average person does not care about frame rates, and that's understandable. If you don't notice a difference, you don't notice a difference. But I have eyes that are tuned to noticing stutters and things like that, and I really care about a consistent frame rate as much as possible. So that's important to me. It's not important to everybody. I understand that, and that's why. I mean, console wars are stupid. Okay, if you like consoles because they're cheaper, and the fact is that console manufacturers lose money on selling their consoles because they sell them at a loss because they get percentages of every game sold. So you're going to get a better price than you can get on a PC where all the different manufacturers of each part that you're going to get, they have to make a profit off of that. So you're always going to get a better price on consoles because they're selling them at a loss. So that's just the fact of the matter. And if you want a better price, you're going to go for the console. It's going to be cheaper every time. I mean, a $500 computer is not going to be able to do as many things as the $500 consoles, and that's just the fact of how it is. So these new consoles, they seem very cool, and they have solid-state drives, and they seem to be running faster and stuff like that. That being said, my computer, which has hardware that's from like 5 years ago, it's not top of the line. It's still outperforming these consoles, though. You know, so that's just the fact of it. You know, I have better performance than the consoles now on my PC, which granted was a lot more expensive than $500. So there you go. That's the pros and the cons. It really comes down to, do you care about performance? Do you want these other options? Then PC is better. Now that being said, I do spend less on games because of Steam deals and the amount of sellers and the fact that there's competition of which store to get. And I'll get a lot of games for free. Like Epic Games Store gives out free games every week. There's free games on all types of platforms. GOG.com is giving away free games. Steam is giving away free games. And I get crazy deals on games. I mean, you can get, like, all the Resident Evil games are on sale, and right now you can get Resident Evil for $5. You know, there's all kinds of crazy deals you can get. Sony, Xbox games, especially the digital versions, don't really go on sale as much. But then again, Xbox has the subscription service where you pay a certain amount of money a month, and you get all these games for free with the subscription. So there's a lot of pros and cons to each console, but to argue like this fanboy stuff that exclusives make it's just really silly, man. It's like every console has more great games to play than any person should have time to experience. So you're gonna get a good experience no matter what. And the biggest games in the world are multi-platform. That's just the fact of it. Most people are playing Fortnite. Most people are playing Warzone. Most people are playing Call of Duty. Most people are playing these games that are multi-platform. And these exclusives, they're not as big a deal as people make them out to be. And it is, like, if you're deciding which console to get, it's definitely something to consider. But I don't think it's a good reason. It's really should be the end-all, be-all. And my preference would be that there would be no exclusives at all. I would prefer that because then it's better for the consumer. We would get better consoles. We would get manufacturers competing on things that actually matter when you're buying a computer, okay, performance and things like that. And you would get better games as well, and developers would be making more money on their games. But now we have first-party studios that have this top-down ownership. So, and these Sony fanboys also seem to forget that Sony is one of the biggest record labels in the world. They're one of the third biggest movie producer in the world, I think. So gaming is just one part of their whole empire, and Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. Like, Microsoft is winning the console war, okay? They have $1 trillion empire, and Sony's making a couple billion, you know what I mean? Like, or a few billion. I don't really have the value in my head, but it's not comparable at all. So this fanboy stuff, it just kind of annoys me. I find it funny. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you are a Sony or Xbox fanboy, be sure to spurg out at me so I can make a video about it. I would love to do that. Alright, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody. And God of War, I'll be playing that for sure. I'll review that when it comes out. Alright, everybody. Peace out.